Well, hello there. Hi, I'm Mary,
And I'm Dwayne.
and we'd like to welcome you to our show. It's called Ask It. No
Yeah.
matter whatever the question is, whatever question you might want to ask, just ask it. Send us a email or write down below whatever question. It doesn't matter if you would have a question you was always ashamed to ask, or you was afraid to ask, or you just curious about the answer. Ask it, because we both have masters in streetology, and we can answer any question that you might have. Isn't that right?
Oh, yes, gangster streetology. As a matter of fact, if you do have a question that you're afraid to ask, you can comment below. Also, you can subscribe to our show below, or you can like us below this video, or just view us and get a characteristic of the show so that you can have an objective thought on what you'd like to say about the show. This is our first show, and I'm just so happy and flabbergasted to be here with my lovely wife, Mary, and she is the director and innovator of Ask It.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to be here with my lovely husband. We'll be celebrating 18 years of marriage this November coming up. So if you want to send us a gift, we'll accept that, as long as it's decent in order. Anyhow, we have we have a one question that we're going to answer. But before I answer the question, I want to let you know that we'll have a guest periodically. And the exciting thing about it is that we don't know what they're going to ask. So our first question is, why do people fall in love? Do you know that people fall in love very seldom? It's hard for a person to fall in love. You know, when you meet somebody, you meet the right girl, you meet the right guy, you think, oh, I'm in love with them, but you're really not in love with them. You're infatuated with them. You know, you can't really have true love or experience true love until you experience the love of God. God shows us how to love. He loves us unconditionally. We done did so much things in this world, and God still loves us if we turn to Him and seek Him. So that's the kind of love that we need to have for one another. When we fall in love with somebody, it can't be because of a condition, because you brought me flowers, you took me to dinner today, because you were nice, I love you. Because you take care of the house, because you got a good job, I love you. But let all that stuff go. You lose your health, you lose your job, then I want a divorce. So that tells you right there, that's not love. That's a condition, and it's an infatuation, or it's a need. And another reason why people think they're in love is because there's something in that person that you want that you don't have, or you don't think that you have in yourself. So you'll look at somebody and you'll be magnetized. It'll be a attraction that's a magnifying attraction. But that's because you see something in them that you don't have in yourself. And once you actually develop that in yourself, you know you'll fall out of love or out of infatuation. Is that right?
Well, what was the question again? Why do people fall in love?
Yeah.
I think we should change it to, why do fools fall in love? Because that's what you are, a fool, if you fall in love. No, first of all, let me tell you, if you rush into a relationship, which most people do in 2017, they get in a relationship and they with this person for 1 month, maybe 2 months, and then they say they're in love, but not realizing that they're all sexed up. So when you're sexed up like that, your emotions can run wild. You can, you can be fooled by your lust and your love, and you won't be able to extinguish the two because you're all sexed up. Especially you young people who, if you're anything like I used to be when I was young, you're sexed up, and you're a fool for falling in love too early. But love takes time. So if you like maybe a year later and you're saying, I think I love this person, well, you might have a good recognition of the thing called love. Isn't that right?
That's right. That's right. Because sex do kind of blur your emotions and your thinking.
Yes.
So once you become intimate sexually with a person, then you can't see the red signs anymore, and it's something about when God said the two should become one. When you become one prematurely, it kind of blindsides you. You can't see, people that say people that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, you know, because them people that live in the glass house, they can't see their own. They can't see their own faults and other things that they're doing wrong, and that happens if you get intimate with somebody. You can't see their faults right away, you know, because you're so infatuated. Your emotions are everywhere. So whatever you do, don't get intimate right away. Give it 2-3 years, and actually, if you could wait until 2 or 3 years and then decide to get married, then do it, then that will be true love. That's true love right there. If you could wait for somebody for 2 years, 3 years, and then get married to them, then that's when you know that you love them. You know, most people, they meet somebody the next day, and 2 weeks later, they're moving in, they're getting married, and then 2 years later, they're in divorce. They hate them, so they move too fast. So love takes time, and you got to learn everything about a person. So don't fall in love
too fast.
And actually, if you really want to learn how to love, then study God, and God will show you how to love, because He loved the world so much that He gave His only begotten Son. So that's love. If you give your only Son for a wicked world, that is love.
Right, and you know, you can learn from God, and you can also learn from the devil, because the devil, he will give you warning signs, you know, and he'll spew his mouth out of that person that you think you love after a couple of weeks. Okay.
All right, we put our guests in the rocking chair because we know our guests kind of nervous, so we let them rock a little bit.
Okay.
So our question, we're going to ask you a question, but if you want to elaborate a little bit about why people fall in love.
Okay.
Or why do fools fall in love?
Okay. So are we referring to like real love or lust love?
Well, no, there's only one kind of love.
Okay.
I'm referring to the lust. She's referring to the real love.
Okay.
Well, there's only one kind of love. That's
There is
the love
only
of God.
one true love.
Yes.
However, when people fall, they can fall in infatuation, and then in that process is love. However, it's really just a feeling. It's just like a infatuation. They get in love with the phone calls or someone reassuring them, where they feel empty inside. They get the void filled of temporary satisfaction, of just getting compliments, or like if you have a woman, for example, I've been here, where you're in a situation where you're used to feeling like maybe your self-esteem is low at a certain point, or you lack confidence in certain areas, and it doesn't take much for a guy to just say, hey, you look beautiful, or you're amazing, or I like the way you do that, and he takes up just a little bit of time with you. And if you cross the threshold of intimacy too soon, it's easy to get too attached to that person, and then all of a sudden you're in love. I love you.
Isn't that awesome? Introduce yourself.
My name is Yamina, and I am just a woman. I run a business by the name of Hope, and I've come a long way. I had a child early out of wedlock, and just looking for love in all the wrong places. And I did find that the only place you can find love is with God, and that type of love, it doesn't cross boundaries. It respects boundaries, and it also sets boundaries. When you have the love of God, it's not about a physical touch, and everything doesn't have to be quick. Everything doesn't have to be like right now. It's patience, and you're not looking for someone to fulfill you. You're already fulfilled, and you just anything else is an addition to what you already have, so you don't come off as needy and clingy and those type of things, which is a lot of different reasons why people say they're in love, and the next thing you know, they go from this mate to that mate to this mate. Hence why we have a lot of different separated homes at this time.
That's
All
true.
right. See, exactly. So she recapped everything that I had just said.
Except-
Awesome.
Except the devil's side. Now the devil can step in. The devil will tell you different things. See, women get weary, and sometimes they'll look everywhere for a man because they've been alone so long, and they get lonely. And they'll look under, some of them can find themselves looking under a rock, knowing that guy is a fool, or he's somebody that they shouldn't be dating. But they date him anyway, and then they get all sexed up, and then they start thinking that they're in love. Well, that's a different type of love. That's called fool's love.
It is.
Just like fool's gold is fool's love. some of us, including me, I'm not excluded, I fell in love before I met my lovely wife, of course. I fell in love and I was a complete idiot fool because I was so misunderstood about everything that I was saying, and so was she, because the whole thing was about something that had nothing to do with love. So I'm going to elaborate with that a little bit later. First, I'm going to have my lovely wife expand on what she was saying.
Oh, okay. No, she just recapped everything that I just said, you know. And I taught her well.
And she's been amazing. It's funny how, you know, when you're ready, teachers appear and you start to see different things in women. For me as a woman, you see different things in women, characteristics and stuff, and you kind of glean for those things. Whereas when you're in a position where you're not really ready for love, you kind of feel like you know everything already. But I got this, you know, I don't care what he's doing. I got this, we got this. Don't stay out of our business, you know. All those type of things. If you find yourself saying those things, you're probably in trouble. But people who are patient and know who they are and they're ready for a real relationship, they are willing to take wise counsel, you know, because they want that. They know that there's people that's been seasoned, they've been married for a long time, and if that's something they really want, they're cautious about selecting a mate or receiving invitation to mates. If you find yourself just saying yes to any man, if he asks you for your number, and you're like, well, I might as well just go ahead and give my number, girl, and you know, all those type of things, you're probably not in a position where you're ready. You're probably looking for something that you need in God, you know, to be honest. But when you're finding yourself ready and you're ready to take your time, then you probably are in a better place where you can make a wise decision about having a relationship and also putting yourself in a better position to receive and give love.
Amen. Now, remember what I said, at least 2 years. You could date somebody, you could be friends, you don't even have to. The problem with a lot of people I see today is that they live in marriages, but they never give the vows. They never submit the marriage. They're not even married, but they live like they married. And you should never act like you're married to someone, and if you never got married to them. And so you could be friends. You don't make no commitments. Yeah, you could get an engagement ring. If someone gives you an engagement ring, you still don't have to act like you're married, but you are only solely dating that person and seeing that person. But the sex should never come. It shouldn't even come. It should come after you're married. And if you could just wait 2-3 years to get married, you'll know if that's the right person for you. You'll know if you truly love that person. You'll find out that so many people change within the first 6 months to a year. You'll be like, this is not the same person I met. You just hold out, you know, and the real person will show up.
That's true.
Exactly.
When you can get the milk for free.
Right.
And, you know, because this is a city that we're disillusioned. You know, some people get married here in Las Vegas after 2 days. You know, this is the capital where you can get married by Elvis or anybody you want. People get disillusioned by the glamour of love, and sometimes the devil can make it look so glamorous and so romantic, and you are being totally fooled. You are being, you know, turned into somebody. And you ever notice that when you do think that you're in love, you do things that you would not normally do.
Out of character.
You know, out of character. You spend money. You do think, now you find yourself, you want to spend money on yourself before you was in love, but now you got somebody, you're spending money on them. Now, that's when you have to be, you know, prayed up. You have to be thinking very intellectually, using your mind to the fullest of what God's potential have gave you, because that person might be a gold digger. There are male gold diggers, and there might be female.
Might be getting played.
That's right.
What he's saying.
Getting played. Tell us about getting played.
Yeah, I mean, you can get played now. You be in a situation where you find yourself. I hear girls all the time, and they say, you know, he just wanted me to buy his, pay his phone bill, and then, you know, they don't want to tell you what's going on because they already know you're going to assess the situation as you're getting played. But they say every now and then something slip out when they get real mad at them all of a sudden, and I paid his phone bill, and I paid his car note, and I paid, and it's like, oops, oops, you paid too much. You shouldn't have been paying for that. You know, it's not even a woman's position to try to take care of a man.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I believe a man is supposed to be taking care of a woman. And if he's supposed to be trying to get your attention, you shouldn't be buying him anything, to be honest.
That's
And
exactly
to be separate from that, women and men can go Dutch. You don't have to expect that a man is going to buy you everything all of a sudden out the gate, because as she was saying earlier, that you don't start off in a relationship. You start off getting to know someone. You start off trying to find out what their likes are and dislikes are. Do you guys gel? Do you have the same beliefs? Do you have the same type of commonalities? You know, things that can make you even. You know, we have to be equally yoked eventually when you get married. And so you don't have to always, women always say, well, he got to buy me dinner. That doesn't necessarily have to start off that way when you're developing a friendship and trying to get to know someone. You can both, you pay your part, I'll pay my part, you know. We introduce those type of things into relationships way too soon, and then that's when lines start to get crossed. But what he said about, you know, getting played, you can definitely get played if you're not wise. A lot of times people think they can buy love, they think they can lay for love, give it up for love, and you cannot do all those things for love. You have to get to the word.
And remember, love is unconditional.
Right.
You know, you can't call yourself loving someone because they're doing something for you. And when they stop doing it, you don't love them no more. You never did love them, and vice versa. Love is unconditional. Remember that. Love is unconditional. And we're gonna take a break right here.
Oh, wait a minute. Before we take that break, I got this point I want to make. You know, there's I need guys. You got them guys that will sex you up and say, I need something after they got your mind. And they say, I need this, and I need a cell phone, I need a belt for my pants. I need guys. You know, then you have the other guy who's like, look, you ain't never had nobody like me. He totally dominates your personality.
Be careful.
And he will make you feel like you're less than. Then, when we come back from the break, I want you young ladies to expand on that, because there's some young women out there right now looking at this, and they're in that same relation with that I need guy and the guy that totally takes over your personality.
That's real powerful, real fast. Before we take the break, that's really mind control. When a man starts to make you feel less than.
Okay, wait a minute. Just stop
Okay.
for 1 second. And then start back up. It ain't no break really. I just wanted to stop just so that we can have inserts.
Oh.
Okay, you were making that point. That point before the break. You know, about how a man can totally dominate a woman's mind. Now, I've seen that happen, and I have a lot of sisters. You know, and but I'm pretty sure we're coming back into out of break, right?
Okay, go ahead. Start over.
We didn't have a pause.
Okay, you were making a point about those guys who totally dominate women's mind. And as a woman, I'd like to hear you guys' opinion about that.
Go ahead and start. I really believe that's a lot of reason why we have so many different things. That's actually where they get that pimp mentality, where they go ahead and first they abuse a woman in a sense of belittling her and making her feel like she's less than worthy, and just making sure that she feels like the only time she can feel worthy is in his presence, or if he starts to say, you know, you're this or you're that, but he belittles her. And in that process is training a woman to feel like she's codependent on him. So whenever she feels like she's ready to leave because maybe she gets a hint that, you know, this is not right or I'm being disrespected, he reminds her that you're nothing. Nobody wants you, you know, those type of things. And that's really, really, really a lot of things that is taking place right now, to be honest, is that women don't know their worth and they're waiting on a man to tell them their worth. And in the process, men are able to speak down to them, and women too. There's women that will get a man that is a little, you know, I guess you could say, I don't want to say, you know, sometimes men are just not as, you know, boisterous, I guess you could say, or aggressive, or they just seem whatever. And then so some men is passive, and women can also manipulate men's mind and tell them that, you know, you ain't all that. Women don't really want you, you know, whatever, you lucky you got me. All those type of words and stuff like that, that's literally taking somebody's mind and making them feel like they're not worthy of anything. And in that process, you might be able to get their money, you might be able to get their time, you might be able to get a whole bunch of stuff, but you'll never have their heart, because there will be a time when they're going to come to the truth, and that reality is going to come, and they're going to realize, you know what, I am somebody, and I don't need you anymore, you know. But those techniques are really,
Oh yeah.
really can really
Them
keep you
techniques,
bound.
what I call those techniques, that like I think Dwayne said, that's the pimp mentality.
It is.
It was, you know, there's two things there. There's the pimp mentality, and then there's the abuser.
Yeah. there you
Because
go.
they're okay. Let's talk about the abuser. The abuser is the type of person that can abuse you not only physically, but abuse you emotionally, financially, and so when they do things like that, they beat your self-esteem down so bad that you feel like you're trapped. You can't get away from them because they got you thinking nobody else is going to want you. Because they call you names, they put you down, they talk about your cooking, they talk about your house cleaning, they talk about your clothes, they talk about your hair, they talk about your parenting, just don't have nothing ever nice to say about you.
Don't like the way you chew your food.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
so
everything.
you start believing all that stuff is wrong with you because that's what they say. They say that's about you. You know, you have to start believing what God say about you and who God say you are. But these people, man or woman, they can tear you down like that, and they can also dominate you financially. If you're living with somebody and they pay all the bills and you can't afford to be on your own, so then they start talking to you, you know, any type of way too, and you're like stuck there financially. But that all came on the pimp side. That's how pimps used to break in their hoes, their prostitutes. They would meet a nice lady, young girl, teenager, really early age or whatever. And then they would wine and dine them, and then they would isolate them, and then they would start calling them names and start slapping on them and telling them nobody's ever going to want them, and then they don't want them to have no friends. As soon as you start getting a friend, or your friends that you were hanging out with, oh, now they're a problem. Oh, I don't like her. She's all she's doing is looking after men, or all she's doing or she want me kind of thing. So they kind of separate you from your family, your friends, and you don't want to be in a situation like that. That is definitely not love.
That was powerful what she said about the isolation, because that's what the enemy does too with us. Is he first will isolate you, get you to thinking people don't want you, don't like you. And this is not just a relationship. This is just even when you're trying to get on the road to own a business, when you're trying to go prosper in the things of God. Anytime you're trying to do anything that will cause you to be in the right position, you'll start to see that the enemy could use different tactics to try to isolate you, so you can get you by yourself and continue to feed you nonsense so that you can feel defeated. But that was really good. That was really good.
And we know where all this stems from. You know, it's come from generational curses. But those one of the generational curses are, some women, I call them the daddy girl. Because these are women that grew up without a daddy. So they find this pimp, or a guy with a very sharp mind who uses his very intellectual mind to dominate a woman. And since she didn't have a daddy, she looks to him as if he was her dad. And she's willing to do anything to have that daddy in her life. So here comes the pimp with the money, with the car, with everything that she needs, and he's the daddy. He's looking good, smelling good, got a wad of money in his pocket. Everything's just so hunky-dory in the beginning.
He's a provider.
Right. But then, this is when, ooh, why do fools fall in love? You think you're in love, and then you find out that that person is crazy and deranged. So what you do is you try to get out of the relationship, but you have a pimp. You have a dominating mental person that can he looks in the mirror and practices how to dominate a woman. So you got these things going on, and here you are with this 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, sometimes 9th grade education, and you're trying to comprehend and have intellectual stimulation with this person who's out of your league. So you're stuck. But I just want you guys to expand on that, because right now I feel like there's somebody that went through that like I put them through back in the past, the same way I just explained.
Well, first I want to say this. If that is you, please reach out. Reach out. Again, you can send us an email at thewinbroadcastingnetwork@gmail.com. And we solicit prayers. We will pray for you. We'll give you some direction to go where you can get out of that situation. And second of all, there is a husband, a number one husband that is waiting for you.
There it is.
He's waiting for you. His name is Jesus. He said he is the husband man. And if you're looking for a husband or a provider or a person that can be your friend, a lover, he's everything that you can ever want. I think if you turn to God and seek God for all your needs, then a natural man will show up. God will provide him. If, not all the time. I ain't gonna say everybody ain't meant to get married. Everybody ain't meant to have a husband. But you don't have to be in that situation that you're in. I'm telling you now, if that is you, Dwayne said he feels like somebody watching this, that's them. If that is you, you don't have to be in that situation that you're in. I know a true lover, I fell in love with God before I fell in love with my husband, What are you doing over there?
I agree with what she's saying, and just to kind of further elaborate that God may not have a husband for you. What happens when you start to seek God first and you start to feel complete in Him? He'll give you a peace. He'll give you a contentment, and He is also better able to guide you. And what He does is He gives you the desires of your heart. And when we read that scripture, a lot of times we think, "Oh, I'm asking God for this. He's just gonna give it to me." But I see another side of that where He actually implants His desires in your heart, so that the things that you're desiring line up with what He has for you, so that you're satisfied, And if I gave you a desire, I'm definitely going to fulfill it, And I think that as young women and men also, we definitely have to learn how to be content in our Maker. He's the one that created us and designed us to have even the desires that we do have at times, and we have to say, God, what do you want me to do with this desire? Why am I feeling this way? And sometimes He'll show you it's a void. You feel empty because your dad wasn't there. You feel empty because dad was there, but he wasn't there. He worked too much, or mom wasn't there. She never told you you were a strong person, or maybe you grew up as a young man and mom was there, but dad wasn't there, and you're looking for something that you didn't get. You're looking to be able to dominate women because of the simple fact that you didn't have a dominating man in the home. You ran over your mom. There's so many different things that we learn as characteristics to know how to cope with emptiness as we're young children growing up. And a lot of times those things are reflected in the relationships that we choose. Yeah. And that's the reason why we can feel empty and go in from one relationship to the other. And if we're tired of the vicious cycle of doing the same thing over and over again, having the same type of mate, just with a different hairstyle, different physique, just with a different voice or whatever, we definitely want to seek God, because He's the only one that's going to be able to fulfill us, to make us whole, complete. And definitely do reach out, because situations like this, when you're in those relationships where it's mind control, unfortunately at times you can be so browbeat that you'll feel like you're worthless enough to commit suicide. And those type of things are the things that we're trying to reach out to and make sure it does not happen, because you are worthy and you are important. And no matter what somebody's telling you, or even if they're not telling you, you're telling yourself those lies, you have to get inside the Word of God and know that you are beautiful, you're powerful, you're purposeful, and that even if you never get married, He chose you first.
Amen. Amen. And I want to leave this with you. You have to forgive and move on. no matter what your situation was as a child, whether daddy wasn't there, mommy wasn't there, or they were there and they never recognized you for who you were, whatever, your expectations was not ever met. Just, you have to move on forward, It's like our walk in this world is both physically and spiritually. And just like if you move from house to house and you don't leave the house there, but you keep taking the houses with you, you're dragging a whole bunch of heavy stuff. If you can imagine moving 2 times in your life or 10 times in your life, and every time you move, you're dragging all those houses with you, that's the same thing it is in the spiritual realm. If you want to move on and move forward in life, then drop some of that stuff. Leave that stuff. Give it to God. He said, cast all your cares unto me. Give me all your burdens because I care. I care. So if you're out there and you're struggling and you're looking at yesteryears and it's a whole bunch of pain back there, or even if it's today, if you're looking at this video today and this TV station and you are dealing with some pain that happened today, give it to Jesus.
Yes.
Give it to him. He cares. He really does care. Don't carry around spiritual burdens. They're heavier than houses. They're heavier than buildings. They're just too heavy for you to carry. We thank you for joining us, and we hope you follow us and continue to watch us. And we'll be back with a second half of the show because we have a guest here and we do want to answer a question for her.
Right.
All right, thank you.
And just remember, the name of the show is Ask It, so you can ask any question you like. We have an answer for you. And you can subscribe right at the bottom of this video, or you can like us, or you can just watch it and really let it get into your spirit so that you can give somebody else this information. You can also reach me, Dwayne, aka Man of Many Voices, on Man of Many Voices show in Las Vegas and Man of Many Voices show in Hollywood on Facebook.com, Twitter, and on YouTube. Also, we have an Ask It website, which my wife is going to get right now. It's called?
It's called the Win Broadcasting Network.
Awesome.
And you can look for Ask It on that network.
And thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
having me. I